A memorable moment for me was just hopping on a tour bus with, on Tech N9ne's tour bus in Wichita, Kansas. I think Joey Cool was on there, a bunch of Strange Music camp folks, but then also there was this cat that was just sitting on the couch, and he was just writing on the pad, and I was like, man, who's that guy? And Tech was like, oh, that's J-Rock. And I was like, oh man, that's wild. So like, you know, fast forward 5 years, J-Rock, you know, with TDE and all that stuff, blew up. So I would say like, you know, Tech, you know, really kind of helped that, you know, I wouldn't say that whole camp, but definitely Kendrick Lamar and J-Rock, you know, really come up as not only musicians, but also touring artists. So that was a really cool little situation where, you know, I was just on the tour bus and it just so happened to be like J-Rock. You know, being from Kansas City, sometimes we don't get exposed to a lot of different people from, you know, different coasts and all that stuff. So I thought that was a really cool little situation. I would say my biggest fucking moment was when I did my first show and I was super nervous. I grew up as a shy kid. I didn't really I mean, I talked a lot if you knew me, but like, you know, I was pretty shy. So like going up on that stage was the biggest deal to me. And I felt like I was gonna die. But what I said was like, how long am I gonna live with this fear? And how long is this gonna dictate my dreams and what I wanna do with my life? So I went up there and I killed it. And the rest is history. I've never been nervous to do a show ever since. So that was my biggest, one of my biggest fucking moments. And then another fucking moment was when the big homie here from Kansas City, Tech N9ne, we go way back. He was looking at me and my camp. Our camp at the time was called COA, and we did a show at a club, and we didn't have proper sound at that show. And this was kind of a big deal because this was kind of like, all right, if Tech sees us here, and you know we kill this, then I think we might, you know, go on the label. But what happened was our sound got messed up, and so instead of feeling defeated and just like kicking equipment and getting mad, we just did it anyway. So you know, that was a situation where we really had a lot on the line, and we decided to just push forward, and I think Tech respected that. The biggest lesson I've learned in my journey is to just be authentic. Quincy Jones told Tech N9ne in a quote, he said, basically, people feel you if you are you. If they don't feel you, then they can, you know, people are smart. They can see right past that. So if you try to fake the funk, people are gonna smell something. You know, there's something fishy there. It's not right. That's not you. So, you know, I tried to do a lot of different things that weren't really authentic to me, and I'm able to do those. I can fake all those things, but at the end of the day, when I stayed true to myself as an artist, when I stayed true to myself as an entrepreneur, that's when I started to see people actually resonating, and that's when I started building my own community, because people believed in it. If I didn't believe in it, then they didn't believe in it. So that's kind of where one of the biggest lessons I've learned. Biggest misconception would be, you know, I think people try to put artists into boxes, and I don't really think there is a certain label that can really define the art that I put out. I really think my art is about bringing people together, about building community, about being innovative, creative, and curious. And so, you know, I think a lot of people have seen some of my biggest hits, which might be the Streetcar song, which might be songs like that, and think that that's all that I can do. I can do, being from Kansas City and being exposed to a lot of different styles. We're just a very diverse place that we can kind of morph into these different styles. And so really it's just trying to get people to embrace what pure artistry is and not just a distilled version of what, you know, capitalism wants us to be. What up? My name is Kemet Coleman, and you're checking out 24/7 HH.